Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're continuing our Know Your Roots series all about indoor plant care, the basics. Today's video is all about plant propagation. If you have an existing fiddle leaf fig tree or a plant that's totally overgrown, I'm going to show you how to propagate it just by simply cutting off the branches. You're probably wondering, what is plant propagation? Well, propagating plants simply means to regrow the plant from a variety of sources, whether or not it's the seeds or an existing plant part. But in this video, we'll be propagating my fiddle leaf fig tree simply from cutting off a branch. Why do you need to propagate an existing plant? Well, in this case, my fiddle leaf fig is totally overgrown. When I originally bought this tree from Home Depot, she was probably about my height and had really big, bountiful leaves and branches that kind of just covered this entire expanse. Since I've kept her indoors, nursed her, watered her, fed her, she has completely overgrown to the point where I have propagated multiple plants out of this single tree. It's such a great investment if you're thinking about regrowing your own new plant just from a single tree. So let's jump right into the process. So you can see how this monstrosity has overgrown. My husband is constantly complaining about how big this tree is in this little corner of our lounge. And although I love the sheer size of it, I have to agree. It's overgrown its pot, it's kind of getting in the way of our back door. I definitely want to propagate the existing branches so I can grow smaller trees and kind of have them strewn all over the house. So the first step is to grab a pair of pruning shears and kind of measure where you're going to cut the stems. So you can see how this branch and stem has completely overgrown. It's touching the ceiling, it's even curving from its sheer weight. So you have to know where to cut it. What you want to do is to cut it at a thickness where the new tree can support its own weight. So you see how there's a larger trunk here and a thinner stem there. You don't want to cut that thin stem because that might not be enough support to grow the new tree. And you also don't want to cut these leaves off because then you'll have to break them off anyways once you root and plant them. So I will cut it right where it's thick, but I still have existing leaves on top. You want to cut it at an angle. After cutting off the new branch, you want to cut off the bottom leaves and have a clean jar of water setting by. You also want to clean off that branch of existing dirt and debris because that would just dirty your water. Once it's all clean, prop that in your water and then put it by the window where you get tons of natural daylight. So you'll start off with this, and then after about a month, once you put it in a window that gets direct sunlight, it'll grow into this. Isn't that cool, guys? Now you can regrow a brand new plant simply by a cut branch off of an existing tree. So after you have all of your cut branches in fresh water, what you need to do is to position them at a nearby window that receives a ton of natural daylight. The more natural daylight you receive, the quicker these roots can grow. As you can see, my corner window gets indirect sunlight from 2 light sources, which means that propagating the roots and having them grow really abundant will take a shorter amount of time. So now we're going to take our previously propagated branch and we're going to repot this. I'm loving how compact this new shape is. However, I am especially obsessing over this single stem. I think what I'm going to do is remove it from the entire lot of this tree and replant it in its own vase. Not only can this grow in its own as a beautiful single tree, but it will also allow these other stems to grow even larger. So let's take this outside and repot our new trees. So now we're ready to repot our propagated branch. What you'll need is a bag of indoor potting mix. You can get this from your local garden center. You'll need a vase or a pot. I purchased this at Home Goods for less than $20. And some sheet moss so that you can cover the top of the soil. So the first step is to fill up your vase about halfway through with the indoor potting mix. You want to sift the soil around so that it spreads evenly. Next is that you'll make a little hole in the center to put in your new branch. And then you want to cover the roots with the soil. And then you'll add a little bit of water, more potting mix, press that down, add more water, and repeat the steps. You want to pack the potting mix tightly so that your tree grows straight up and it won't move around in the vase. Add just a little bit more water, pack this really, really tightly, and once you know that it has nowhere else to go, you're ready for your sheet moss. You'll pack the sheet moss right on top, making sure to cover the soil. It adds really nice decorative greenery, and you can water right on top of this. And there you have it, guys, a brand new fiddle leaf fig tree propagated from one that you had existing. Okay, so I've taken my fiddle leaf fig tree out of its existing pot. You can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single stems of trees in there. What I want to do is isolate the stem so that I can repot it and make it its own tree. But this step is a little tricky, so in order for me to prune the roots and to remove this stem, I'll need a pair of gardening gloves, a 3-pronged fork, and a lot of patience. So what you want to do is to start by removing some of the existing soil. You want to pull this stem from the rest of the grouping and be very, very gentle as to not damage the remaining roots. You can use your 3-pronged gardening fork to help remove the roots easier. Don't be afraid to cut a root that's taken shape all over the pot. Cutting some of the roots won't damage the entire tree, but it'll help release a single branch that you're after. So now that you have your brand new tree separated, you want to have the pot standing by. If the tree is a little bit too large for you to handle on your own, make sure you have a friend pour some of this potting soil in. You want to center your tree, pour the dry potting mix into the vase, add some water, a little bit more potting mix. Now you're ready for your moss. You want to make sure that the decorative side is facing up. And now here's our brand new single fiddle leaf fig tree standing on its own. Isn't she gorgeous? The last step is to repot this baby again and bring it back into its own basket. And voila, girl power. I was a total beginner and a complete plant novice when I started purchasing indoor plants. But with a little research and a lot of Googling, I was able to learn new things, try new tricks, and then all of a sudden I'm living in that indoor jungle I've always dreamed of. Since you loved my first plant video, we decided to bring Know Your Roots back for a recurring series, and I'll take you on a journey of all of my indoor plant care and what you could do to grow this jungalow in your own home. If you like this type of video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that little bell to get notified every single time we drop a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.